puppy, I'm inappropriate. I like hearing space, I like the whole script. You're such a freaky girl, I love it.
There's this old ass quote that I've never really liked, but it's always stuck with me because of how unfortunately true it is, and it's what goes up must come down. And it becomes even more bothersome when it ends up applying to people, and people in this community, industry, no less. Hi, my name is Nikki Newhope, aka Daddy Issues, aka Your Daddy, and this is Whole Life, and it's not a great episode of Whole Life. It's not a fun one to report on, but on this edition, I'm going to be simply sharing with you some recent news that involve a creator in our community, a very successful creator in our community. But before we get started, I have to ask you, please don't go to this creator's page at all and leave her any discouraging, disparaging, negative comments. It's not necessary. It doesn't help anybody. The video is simply to give you information. It's just one nosy bitch passing along gossip, or not gossip, facts, but yeah. So here we go. So there's this well-known creator slash influencer that used to go by the name of pokeprinxss until Nintendo decided that they were going to sue her ass, and she decided that she better change her name. So then her name was digitalprincxss, and she's made quite the name for herself and amassed a massive amount of followers across several different platforms. The main one being Pornhub and TikTok and OnlyFans. Over her time on TikTok, she was nothing short of an inspiration and a role model to many young women and sex workers, normies, everywhere. She seemed to have it all figured out. She seemed to have like the secret formula, and it's like somebody to look up to, like, wow, she's got all this, stuff, and it seems like everything's so easy for her, but nothing is ever what it seems, I guess. She flashed money, she flashed cars, she flashed her new house, she flashed all of the clothes and all of the things that she bought for her son. She was doing brand deals and collabing with major creators on the regular, which means, she was raking it in, obviously. She never shied away from saying that. All while sticking up for sex workers and being sex positive in general. Her TikTok content ranged from completely squeaky clean to about PG-13, and it was mostly well received. She was seemingly transparent with her audience, sharing with them the fact that she was a single mom of a 4-year-old autistic son. She routinely made videos with him in them, and of things that she bought for him, places she took him, rooms that she made for him. She really seemed like the perfect example of somebody that could wear both hats and, switch from one role to the other seamlessly, and that's not an easy feat at all, but she made it seem like it was. So what I'm trying to say is, from the outside, the girl looked like she had it all. Like she had the secret formula, the perfect life, like she was something to strive to become. But if I remember anything from my 4 years of Catholicism, thou shalt not take false idol. Nobody is perfect, and it's honestly unfair to put them on a pedestal and expect them to be so. And that usually leads in them falling off of that pedestal, and it's not cool for anyone, obviously. digitalprincxss, aka Marissa Cloutier, seems like a very fitting last name, went viral on Twitter yesterday as a mugshot of herself, and court documents circulated online. Marissa then immediately made all of her social media private, but released one message on TikTok, a video sharing platform. And it's a half-assed message at that.
I do see your comments. I do see your concerns. I'm not at all trying to avoid or hide the situation. For those of you who know how legal stuff works, legally I'm only allowed to say so much regarding it. And I know there's a lot of things being posted online that are very out of context and very much untrue. So please do not believe everything that you will read on the internet. I can't really say much more. I just want to say thank you so much for all of those who have supported me and everything like that. And thank you guys. Hi guys, I just want
In her 60-second apology video that was posted on TikTok, I assume that it was posted on TikTok because all I could find of it was a re-upload. She states that she is aware of everyone's comments and concerns, but that she legally cannot comment on anything about the situation. She can only say not to believe everything you read on the internet. And this is one of those moments that I'm going to keep my opinion about it to myself, as to be unbiased, but I'm sure that you can make your opinion based on that apology. I would like to address one part of that apology video, the part where she tells her audience not to believe everything you read on the internet. You see, usually I would agree with that. If we were talking about an unreliable blog, if we were talking about 1 out of a million Amazon reviews, if it were some drama-hungry, shady tabloid reaching for a story. Sure, fine, don't believe everything you read. But Miss Marissa, your police report is on the internet for the public to see. And maybe I'm crazy for this, but I don't think that falls under the don't believe everything you read on the internet. It's actually something I take as much more likely of being the truth than the story that you have spun and changed a handful of times. According to Marissa's statements, her initial statements, she only left her 4-year-old autistic son in the house so that she could run to the store to get detergent because she had sheets that she needed to wash right then. And she didn't have any detergent. So she was gone maximum of 15 minutes, okay? But when we read the police report, it's clearly written and details a story in which they received a phone call from a neighbor that had found a young boy, her son, crying and wandering around the neighborhood at 10:15 at night. And so the neighbor called the police, and when the police responded, they asked the boy where he lived, and he pointed to the house, and there was nobody at the residence after they checked. And there was no cars in the driveway. There was no sign of anybody. So they entered the house. It was obviously unlocked. The boy got out, and they found on a piece of some paperwork or mail or something her phone number. So then they called her, and she assured them that, oh my gosh, she was right around the corner. She was 6 minutes away. She would be right there. When she arrived, the officers noted and wrote down in their police report that she was wearing a tight black, spaghetti strap dress, like a going out dress, that her makeup was fully done, that she even had winged eyeliner on. I don't know why they would choose to write that down, but whatever. Apparently it seemed very out of place to be going and grabbing Tide. Okay. She assured them that she had put the boy to bed at 10:15, and she just was running down to get Tide, and she came right back, and so on and so forth. And then she went on to say that because she was such a big social media star, that she was, gaining stalkers and harassment and stuff to the point that she had to move to Colorado all by herself, and she had no support. Now remember this because this is an important detail. So she spins this story, and after a while, the police ask her a couple of key questions. First, they pick up the bottle of Tide, and they say, this isn't a brand new bottle of Tide. This is a half-empty bottle of Tide. That's very interesting. So can you show me any receipt or any credit card transaction for this bottle of Tide? And she said, no, I paid in cash and I didn't get a receipt. Okay, well, if we went to go pull the cameras, would we see you on the cameras? And she said, no, I don't know if you would, I'm not sure. This is when she starts to break down, right? And so then after those two questions, then she immediately changed her story. She broke down. And the fact that they also brought up to her the fact that the bed sheets, none of them were dirty. They were all the bedside sheets on them, none of them were dirty. So there were multiple inconsistencies in her account. And then her makeup being done and her being dressed like she was going out. So then that's when she broke down and she decided to tell the officers that she really wanted to be truthful with them. She changed her demeanor, she changed her story. She then told the officers that she put her toddler to bed at around 10 p.m., meet up with a friend. She stated that she had no cameras to check on the child and no way possible of knowing if he was okay. And she went on to say that the bottle of Tide was not new, it had been in her trunk. But that's the best excuse that she could think of. And the real kicker is that the mother of Marissa, the grandmother of the child, was able to come immediately and collect the child because her mother and her aunt lived a couple blocks away in a nearby subdivision. So there's another lie. She wasn't all alone in Colorado. There was somebody that could have watched her child and she just chose not to. But I mean, all things in the dark come to the light. So the police report ends stating that the child is now in the mother's care, Marissa's mother's care. And that leads us to this mugshot of Marissa with her charges. And obviously she's bailed out, but we'll see what ends up happening. I obviously have plenty to say and a massively judgmental opinion, but I choose to remain the same kind of neutral in these situations. My name is Wes and I'm not in that mess, but I would actually like to know what you feel about it. I mean, you can be as judgmental as you want to. Leave it in the comments and I would love to read it. So, until next time, hoes.